I'm afraid this week Nevard's telling is closed for engineering works, so it's going to be a bit different. I've redone the animation, so have a look at this version, let me know what you think. And then after that, we're going to visit the Col Stephens Railway Museum at Tenterden Station. I'm going to do something today which I've never done before in all my years. I'm going into the museum. And hopefully I'll be able to get some nice film to show you. Let's go see what we can find, shall we?
Welcome to the Col Stephens Railway Museum, which celebrates the life and achievements of a remarkable Victorian engineer. This room represents the Victorian family home at 10 Hammersmith Terrace in West London, where Col Stephens grew up. On display are pictures and mementos of both the young Stephens and his father, who was a distinguished art critic and one of the founder members of the pre-Raphaelite Victorian art movement.
So Colonel Stephen's father was a pre-Raphaelite. Now, I've learned something today that I didn't know, and that is extremely interesting. Here's some interesting hot dog signs. Of course, that was one of the nearest branch lines to here. Oh, there's a pocket. Hello. You'll notice I try not to do too much commentary on this video. That's because I'd like you to feel that you're walking around the museum with me and just having a look on your own without needing to be bombarded with facts and figures. But all these display cases refer to the various railways that Colonel Stephens had something to do with. This particular railway here being the Rye and Canberra tramway, which I have mentioned in videos before during my Three Rivers of Rye series. Now that's something I didn't know. You feel free to stop the video at any time if you can pause it and you're actually able to read any of the notices that I focus on. Um, it saves me having to bore you with my voice telling you what they say. Here he is, Col Stephens in his office at Tunbridge. Window, sorry for any reflection. Let's have a listen, shall we?
Office phone is kept downstairs and the number is Tunbridge 12. The telephone operators are being calm note. I am not entirely convinced of its necessity about a single device like this is useful for local calls. Mr. Eagleton occasionally uses it on the day to arrange my lunches with friends in London at the Eccentric Club. It is much better to use the General Post Office's excellent telegram service for effective and urgent matters. The telegraph office is nearby, and replies wired to Stephens, Tunbridge are reliable every day of the week. These telegrams are a necessity of modern existence. Letters and postcards are noted. We have 4 deliveries a day. One posted in the late afternoon will be with us at 6 in the morning, and when we need you, we can catch the midnight post. A letter sent in the morning can usually receive a reply the same day. Excuse me, I need to summon my man Austin. Bell push behind me is useful, and he knows I want him if I push it twice. He must be in North Wales by mid-morning tomorrow and can catch the 6:52 at Tunbridge or the 11 p.m. from Euston. He can smarten up those automatics. Good afternoon.
Interesting. And here's a selection of his railway passes. Sorry about the low volume on the Colonel Stephens phone call. I hope if you turned your volume up for that you remember to turn it down again afterwards. Anyway, this is an incredible collection of passes. It seems to have been common practice in those days that the people at the top of the various railways, particularly the independent ones, would write to each other and ask if it was possible to have a travel pass, and reciprocal agreements were made. Funny thing is, here we are 100 years later, and as working members of a heritage railway, we also have reciprocal agreements with various other railways, giving privileges. Amazing, isn't it? While Colonel Stephens was a pioneer, if you like, of lightweight rail cars, the main railway companies of the time were also doing their own thing with obviously more substantial vehicles. The brown and cream one you see in the middle was pioneered by the Great Western Railway and earned the nickname Flying Banana. I think there's only two that are serviceable at the moment. One, I believe, is at Didcot, and the other one is in our carriage and wagon workshop in a very advanced state of restoration. And hopefully, within a year or two, you will be able to see it running again on the Kent and East Sussex Railway. Good, isn't it? Sadly, too much reflection, but hopefully you'll get an idea. We are so grateful to people who have donated artifacts to the museum. It has enabled us to build up an award-winning museum. I'm not sure that there is such a complete collection anywhere else of things to do with Colonel Stephens, and really you need to come and see it for yourself and spend at least an hour wandering around here. It's fascinating, and all I'm giving you today is just the merest glimpse, which I hope you're enjoying. I'm not sure that you can read that very easily. This Kent and East Sussex locomotive, Northiam, was cosmetically dressed up as a locomotive called Gladstone, and of course appeared in the famous film Oh, Mr. Porter. This line, in days of British Railways ownership, became well known because of its low bridges, and therefore the locomotives used on the line had to have specially cut down cabs, which made for some interesting sights. And as his name suggests, Colonel Stephens was a military man, and when he left the service, he had attained the rank of Lieutenant Colonel. Holman F. Stephens, Holman Fred Stephens, known as Holly to his friends. That's an interesting sound.
I've travelled down today from Charing Cross to Robertsbridge, where I changed onto the Rother Railway on my way home to Ewhurst Place near Bodiam. That's where I live with my husband, Robert Baden-Powell. It's a funny little line. One buys one's ticket on the train. The conductor moves precariously along the outside of the carriages, even while the train is in motion. One's sitting in one's seat when suddenly the carriage door opens, letting in a blast of wind and rain, and there's the conductor. After collecting all our fares, he climbs out through the door again and proceeds to the next compartment.
I've heard about that. Colonel Stephens' phone call that you heard earlier on, you heard him refer to sending his second in command, Austin, to North Wales, because he also had something to do with the Festiniog and the Welsh Highland Railways. Now, I stand to be corrected if I'm wrong, but from what I can gather, he was not at all popular up there, and they referred to him as, and probably in their own language, as that Englishman. Sais Huno. This really is the most amazing collection. You've got to come and see it if you get the chance.
And get better light.
This is an incredible survivor from the early days of the Shropshire and Montgomery. We are so lucky to have it here available for display, and we take our custodianship of it very seriously indeed.
There's plenty to see. Come and visit.
Finally, you might remember seeing that black and white video of railcar Lizzie leaving Headcorn. Well, this is a replica of one of those very rail cars. Apologies for the very subdued sound in places from me. You can't really speak at normal volume in a place like this, so I hope you're able to turn the volume up to hear what I was saying. I've kept the commentary to a minimum, hopefully for your maximum enjoyment. Do come and visit if you get the chance, and I'll see you on the next video.